So today's video, guys, is going to be a little bit different. This has just arrived at my house. SurpriseShirts have been kind enough to send me a completely random football team, but here's the catch. Whatever football team shirt is inside this box, I've got to become their new manager in this video, and by the end of it, make them the best team in the world. Now, you guys are going to see this before me. I haven't opened this box yet. Who is the team I'm going to be doing today? Who is that? Hang on a minute. I know exactly who that is. That's KV McCallum from Belgium. And they've even thrown in a pack of Haribos as well. What a bunch of legend SurpriseShirts are. And it is a gorgeous kit as well. Look at that, guys. I'm dead happy with that. My only slight concern is I don't think it's going to be an easy task to make KV McCallum the best team in the world. Because the last time they won any European silverware was back in 1989 when they won the UEFA Super Cup. So yes, this is going to be a challenge, but there's no way in hell I'm backing down. So today, guys, I have become the brand new manager of KV McCallum, and not only am I going to make them the best team in Belgium, I'm going to make them the best team in the world. But making that happen, guys, it isn't going to be easy because this team really does need a lot of work. But as I'm going through the squad up, one thing I've noticed, it's a very young team. Only 3 players who are over 30 years old. And there's actually some really good youngsters we can try to build this team around, like Nagal Ayal Macau, only 18 years old. There's also Bilal Bevdili, only 18 years old, who's a central attacking midfielder too. And there's also winger Dam Foulon, 24 years old, granted a lot older than the previous 2 players I mentioned, but he's definitely got potential to become a beast. But financially, guys, we're not looking amazing. 8 million to spend in season 1. So whilst KV McCallum overall needs a hell of a lot of work doing to it, there is still a lot of potential in this team. However, instead of going for the 3-4-3 flat, I'm going for the 3-4-3 diamond instead. I feel like with the players we've got, this one just makes more sense to use. And I want to be playing some gorgeous football, guys. I'm using the tiki-taka tactical vision. I want to run circles around Club Brugge, Antwerp, and also Anderlecht. And after a little bit of meddling with the team, this is, in my opinion, the strongest starting 11 and probably the highest potential starting 11 we can field with KV McCallum. But as you can see, guys, I've just gone into the youth academy and I've spotted Adrian Vargas, only 16 years old, 57 overall, got a very good potential as well. But to me, guys, he looks more like an attacking midfielder than a CDM, so I'm going to train him up to be an attacking midfielder and then we'll see what happens from there. But whilst we're waiting him to convert to a cam, we've still got to decide what to do with this 8 million euros. And to be fair, I'm taking a different approach this time. Instead of spending it all at once, I'm actually going to try and sell a lot of players and loan a lot of players out, get as much money as possible, and then go from there. I mean, we've got a couple of fullbacks on sale. That's purely because we've got a 3 at the back formation. We simply don't need any fullbacks. Then there's the players that I'm sending out on loan. This is either because they're not good enough to fit into the starting 11, or they're going to take somebody else's game time that ideally I prefer to get game time over them. And just like that, guys, after selling and loaning out all of the players on that transfer list, we've now got 11 million euros to spend on KV McCallum's team, and that is much better than just 8 million. But instead of only relying on making good transfers in season 1, I'm actually going to utilize our youth academy. I'm sending our scout to Belgium for basically the entire season in the hopes that along the way he can find some balls that we can at some point introduce into the team. But now that that's out of the way, that still does beg the question, what are we going to do with this money? Now, I think an absolute must is replacing Slimani up top with somebody younger and somebody better. This guy's 35 years old. He's basically going to be useless in 6 months. I'd also like to replace Hermans with a stronger and younger winger as well. And whilst we're at it, I wouldn't mind bolstering the strength of our back 3 either. But that's a lot to ask for with only 11 million. We're going to have to be incredibly strategic in season 1. But thankfully, though, after searching for ages, I found a proper good striker, Lautaro Diaz from IDV, only 25, a good player, and his contract's running out too, which means we'll get a much cheaper deal. And following him is Ismail Kandus from KAA Ghent. He's an absolute brickhouse at 6'4", 25 years old, a decent player, and he's not the most expensive player in the world either. And there we go, for the total sum amount of 5.5 million euros, we've got our centre-back and our striker. And just by looking at our defence and the fact we've actually got a younger striker up top, I feel way more confident going into season 1 with KV McCallum. But we're still in need of a right winger, and we've only got 4 million euros to find one. But thankfully, we found the man for the job, Marouane Azarkan from FC Utrecht for 2.35 million euros. He's only 21 years old, not the best player in the world, but I believe if we give him enough time, he can turn into an absolute world beater. And we've got even better news, guys. Adrian Vargas' training to become an attacking midfielder is complete. Let's see what he goes up to. Oh my god, he's 60. Wow, that is actually incredible. It's safe to say, ladies and gents, we found our attacking midfielder. And what's even better, we could still find a whole load more players like Adrian Vargas because we've got a scout out for the next 9 months. I'm honestly so happy with the progress we made in only season 1 with Kevin McCallum. We've really done a good job setting them up for success in the coming seasons. And despite having a very positive start to the campaign, I am under no illusion that we are going to get top 6 football this year. That's just not going to happen. The only thing I'm really concerned about is the overall development and improvement to this team. I mean, if we can weed out the weak from the strong, we can build around the best players in the team, and hopefully in a few seasons time we can be competing for that Belgian Pro League title. And you know what, guys, for the most part we have seen a lot of improvement. Our striker Lautaro Diaz is now 75 overall, our goalkeeper 74 overall as well. I mean, not everybody's grown as well as those players, but for the most part it's been a positive season. And as you can see from the stats overall, guys, I'd say we've performed pretty well too. Don't get it twisted, I'm annoyed that Slimani's managed to get more game time over Lautaro Diaz, but you know what, we won't have that issue next year because he's retiring. But guys, I'm looking at this team morale and it is not looking good at all. Jesus Christ, how badly have we done in the Belgian Pro League? Guys, I'm confused. We've actually done really well in the regular season, got a top 6 finish. Maybe it's the playoffs that have let us down. Yep, I'm right, it was the playoffs. We got absolutely annihilated, man. We only won 1 game out of the last 10. This is exactly what I'm talking about. We might be a half decent team, but we are nowhere near ready to be competing for the title yet. We also only made the quarters of the Croquet Cup before Standard Liège knocked us out on pens. As for how the scout's done this year, he's done a terrible job. I did not find a single good youth academy player that we could bring into the team to try and develop, man. This guy took a massive L. But you know what, guys, we weren't expecting anything spectacular in season 1 anyway. We've got to take this and run with it. We've got a lot of youngsters we can try and build this team around, so that's exactly what we've got to try and do for the next 3 or 4 years. But before we go any further, did you lot know I'm racing Raman to 100,000 subscribers, and currently I am in the lead, but I need your help if I'm going to beat you. So if you're enjoying this video so far, leave it a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Help me beat Raman to 100,000 subscribers. Now guys, we've just arrived in season 2 and we've already got a much better budget than last year, 12 million euros to be exact. But to take this team to that next level, I feel like we need a little bit more money, so the next decision I'm about to make is definitely going to ruffle some feathers. I am going to be selling Rob Schoof in the coming weeks, man. He's 30 years old. He doesn't fit our team right now, considering I'm trying to build it around youngsters. It's just better if we sell him. And considering he wanted out of the club anyway because he wasn't getting game time, this was a very, very easy sale to make, but it was a necessary one if we are to take Kevin McCallum to that next level. And we also got 5 million for him. That's just a W all round. And now we've got 17 million euros to spend on the team, man, and let me tell you, we can do some serious damage with this money. And I've already put it to good use, as I've just spent 3.5 million of it on Samson Baidu from RB Salzburg. He's a 20-year-old centre-back who's showing great potential. He's built like an absolute brick house as well. I honestly feel like he's going to be a game changer. I've also just spent 3 million euros on FC Northland right midfielder Lasso Koulibaly. Another young player who's showing great potential. Honestly, this transfer window, we're making some serious moves. And we've still got 9 million euros to spend, man. What did I tell you? With this kind of money, we can do some serious damage. Now, despite Mrabati being our top goal scorer last year, I do feel like it's probably the best move to bring in someone a little bit better for him. He's 30 years old after all. We're going to get a maximum of 2 good years out of him anyway. And I think replacing Dan Foulon is the right choice as well. To be honest, he didn't really do much last year, so we're not going to miss him all that much. And luckily, I have found a great replacement for Foulon, 22-year-old Brazilian winger Anthony, not the rubbish one from Manchester United, the one from the MLS team Portland Timbers. He's got something special. He's a very good player and much younger than Foulon. This one's a no-brainer. And replacing our Swedish left winger is Ilias Cher from QPR, only 26 years old, a much better player than him. Honestly, this one is also a no-brainer. And with us spending the combined total of 8.3 million on both of these players, that officially concludes Season 2's transfer window. And guys, I for one am buzzing with how this team looks, man. In comparison to what we began with, it is absolutely levels above it. I mean, we've got Adrian Vargas, who's an absolute beast in the making. We've got Marouane Azarkan, who's only 22 years old and already one of our best players. And we've got Lautaro Diaz, who's attracting big teams like Villarreal CF. I can't wait to see how we do this year, man. Last year, in my opinion, we did massively overperform by getting top 6 football, but if we do get top 6 again, I feel like we're not going to finish rock bottom of the second half of the season this time. But guys, I've got to say, I am really enjoying this challenge so far, so I want to give a massive shout out to Surprise Shirts for actually sending me the mystery box. So if you're looking for a new save on FC24 career mode, but you aren't exactly sure what team to choose, these guys have got you covered. Surprise Shirts have a special FC24 box on their website which guarantees you a team that's in FC24. All you guys have got to do is give them your shirt size, what teams, leagues or colours to avoid, and they'll take care of the rest. And don't worry, Surprise Shirts ship worldwide, and are very proud to be rated over 4.8 stars from over 1,300 reviews too, which is pretty damn good. And to top it off, you can use promo code Goodwin at checkout to get yourself an extra 10% off your order. I'll make sure I leave a link to their website in the comment section down below and in the top line of the description. And once again, I'd like to thank the guys over at Surprise Shirts for actually sending me this shirt. And without further ado, let's get back to the challenge. Well guys, we've arrived at the end of Season 2 and it's very good news. Look at the state of some of the improvement we are seeing, man. Look at Koulibaly, 7 overall improvement. That's spectacular. The stats aren't incredible, don't get it twisted, but our striker Lautaro Diaz, now that he's actually got game time over Slimani, he's got 23 goals and 5 assists. That's really goddamn good. And looking at the morale overall, guys, it is far better than it was this time last season, so hopefully that means we've done a little bit better. But I'm massively mistaken, guys. We've actually finished in a worse position than we did last season. And because we finished outside the top 6, we got put into the playoff round as opposed to the championship round, but this time we absolutely smoked the second half of the season. And would you look at this, we've actually won the playoffs against Royal Antwerp. That's a massive win, man. If we're beating Royal Antwerp, we are on the right track. But we didn't have much luck in the Croker Cup, ladies and gents. Gent knocked us out in round 1. But we have just taken a massive step in the right direction, guys. We've just beaten Royal Antwerp in the playoff final. That is a massive win. I mean, if we're beating teams like Royal Antwerp in the Belgian Pro League, we aren't actually far off competing with the likes of Club Brugge, Anderlecht and Genk. We've just got to stick with the plan, guys, building the team around the strong players, weeding out the weak links in the team, and before we know it, we're going to be the best team in Belgium. But guys, as we arrive into the new season with KV McCallum, you can clearly see I've been busy. I've sold a whole bunch of players that we just don't frankly use, and we are much better off getting the money for. I mean, we've got 27 million euros to spend this year, man. If we spend this right, we can definitely compete for that Belgian Pro League title. And I think we've got to spend it on this defense, man. If we have a rock solid defense, we'll stand a much better chance of actually competing with teams like Royal Antwerp, Club Brugge and of course Anderlecht. So I started improving the defense by spending 13 million euros on FC20 centre back Mies Hilgers. He's in his mid-20s, he's 77 overall, which makes him now our best centre back, so this one is just common sense. And I'm also going to sign Halder Barbosa from Como, only 18 years old, showing great potential. I am going to take a massive gamble on this guy in the hopes that by the end of this season he massively improves. And just like that, for 10 million flat, we got our centre back. Now, I've got high hopes this season, man. I'm not expecting us to win any trophies. I just want us to compete a little bit more with the top teams in Belgium. Especially now that we strengthened our defence by signing Halder Barbosa and, of course, Mies Hilgers. It also fills me with confidence. We've got Lautaro Diaz, we've got Lasso Koulibaly, and also Marouane Azarkan. Not to mention our attacking midfielder Adrian Vargas as well, who's still 18 years old and already 74 rated. It's definitely been a slow process so far, but I feel like in Season 3 we're going to start seeing big results. And I could be right, guys, as Lautaro Diaz has had an insane season. 40 goal contributions in 50 games is tremendous for a striker. I mean, granted, stats-wise, it doesn't look the best for the rest of the team, but to be honest, maybe that's down to the formation. But one other thing that's impressive, look at the development, guys. Every single player is improving and improving at a very high rate as well. I mean, look at this squad now, man. 3 seasons ago, this team was absolutely god-awful. Now, I'd argue this team would do a job in the Premier League. But now it's time to see whether signing Halder Barbosa and also Mies Hilgers was the right move or whether it was a waste of time. Oh my god, it was the right move. We finished second in the Belgian Pro League, man. Only 4 points behind Anderlecht. I know that this is only the regular season, but this is a massive step in the right direction. But we've also smashed it in the championship round after finishing third, only 2 points behind Anderlecht. Oh my god, Season 3 is the season of results. We also made it to the semis of the Croker Cup, losing 4-2 on aggregate to a team who I'm not even going to try and pronounce. What a goddamn campaign we've had, man. I called it at the start of Season 3 we'd start seeing results, but I had no idea these were the kind of results we were going to be seeing. But I'm just putting this out there. After what we've accomplished this year with Kevin McCallum, the board had better goddamn back us up next year, man. I'm sick and tired of having to sell players to create my own funds. You know what, guys? The board can go and suck a fat one. We've only got 16 million to spend this year, despite last year being by a mile our best year yet. And yes, guys, you can argue that we've got a lot of players with a lot of money, so we could solve our own budget issues just like that. But that would mean selling our best players just to bring in more players, man. And honestly, I'm not prepared to do that just yet. So this means for this season at least, we've got to figure out what to do with this 16 mil and 16 million alone. And I think I know what we can do with it, guys. We need a better keeper than this dude. I mean, he's 27 granted, he's 79 overall granted as well. But I feel like if we are to take that next step, we need someone younger and better with a lot more potential. And I think Gavin Bazunu might be the goalkeeper. You know, he's 24, so he's younger. He's around the same ability, but I know for a fact Gavin Bazunu's got way more potential and his contract's running out. I mean, he'll still cost between 14.5 and 18.5 million, but I reckon with a player swap deal, we may just be able to make this happen. So I'm proposing the offer of 8 million alongside our current goalie, who's right now worth 16 million. That's 24 mil overall. Surely Southampton have got to actually accept this. I might be overpaying, but thankfully overpaying has worked indeed. We might have spent a lot of money, but it's going to be damn worth it. And there he is, guys, in the Kevin McCallum goalkeeper jersey. The transfer is done and dusted. But with us having financial struggles at this point with Kevin McCallum, that does raise the question, when is it going to be time to sell some of our highest valued players? And honestly, I feel like if we're in this same boat next year, we've got to pull the trigger, man, because some of these players are going to be worth tenfold what they're worth now. I mean, for example, Vargas is definitely going to keep improving, and he's worth 50 million. Now, this time next year, he might be worth closer to 90 million. And can you imagine what we could do with 90 million to improve this team, man? We'd absolutely tear Belgian football apart. But for now, at least, we've got to be satisfied with what we've done in this transfer window, and bringing in Gavin Bazunu, honestly, I feel like was absolutely the right move. And guys, I wasn't kidding. We've won the Belgian Pro League regular season by 10 points. If we've won the playoffs, man, we've officially become the best team in Belgium. We've finally done it, guys, by 7 points. We've won the championship round, and if I'm not mistaken, this gives us qualification for the Champions League next year too. It looks like replacing our old keeper with Gavin Bazunu really was the right move after all. Unfortunately, though, we did get knocked out of round 1 of the Croaky Cup. But hold on a second, guys, I didn't even realise this. We had Europa Conference League football this season. We were in Group B alongside Vitoria SC, Rakau and Mulder FK, and as you can see, guys, we wiped the floor with Group B. We then went on to wipe the floor with Bovista FC 6-2 on aggregate. And we beat Fenerbahce in the quarters as well. Guys, when we're beating teams like Fenerbahce, you know we're on the right track. But our journey comes to an end in the semis as Dortmund beat us 5-3 on aggregate. But we got to look at the bright side here, guys. We pushed Dortmund to their limit. A team like Dortmund on no pushover, we're definitely on the right track. And guys, just look at the state of the improvement this year, man. Vargas, Barbosa, Hilgers, Koulibaly, all improving at a very quick rate. And no wonder we've done so well this year, man. Look at their stats. 28-4 for Diaz, 20-7 for Azarkan, and 20-9 for Ilyas Chair. I swear to God, I could not be prouder of this Kevin McCallum team if I tried. We've taken them from mid-table in the Belgian Pro League to competing with the likes of Dortmund in Europe. But I swear to God, now that we've won the Belgian Pro League and made the semis of the Europa Conference League, that board of ours better goddamn back us up. Because now that we are doing so well with Kevin McCallum, I don't want to be selling any of the players we've got on the team, man. I mean, granted, it would sort us out financially, but realistically, we don't want to fix what isn't broken. I'm honestly gutted at this point, man. We only have 25 million to spend in our first season competing in the Champions League. Are the board having an actual laugh at this point? I mean, yes, obviously, we can just sell a couple of the players to give us the funds that we want to spend, but realistically, guys, I don't want to get rid of any of the players that have got us to this point. But then again, we could sell Ilyas Chair. I mean, he's 79 overall, he's almost 30 years old. I don't think we're going to get much more out of this guy, if I'm being honest. And to be fair, we could indeed sell Anthony as well. I mean, Anthony and Ilyas Chair are the two weak links in the team, so it wouldn't exactly hurt to sell those and replace them with better players. I mean, Ilyas Chair's worth 20 mil, so we could probably get around 25 to 28 million for him. And Anthony's worth 15.5 million, so we could probably get around 20 to 23 million for him. And when you add add that onto the existing budget, that gives us a pretty healthy amount of money to work with to replace them with even better players. And there we go, guys. Anthony's heading to Monza for 19.8 million. And Ilias Chair has gone to Wolverhampton Wanderers for 26.6 million. And that gives us a whopping 76 million to replace them. I can't believe the board have taken 14 million off this man. They're so stingy, it's ridiculous. But the thing is now, guys, we can't just bring in any old players to replace them. We're playing Champions League football this year, so we've got to bring in Champions League quality players if possible. And guys, so far I believe I've been able to do just that, as I've spent 30 million to sign Jack Clark on a 4-year deal. He's only 26 years old, 82 rated. He's definitely a better player than bloody Anthony was. I feel like this is a massive dub. But I'm admittedly taking a gamble with this guy, Mika Gotts. He's only 22 years old, a very good player already. I feel like with the right training, he could turn into an absolute beast. But let me tell you something, guys, he was not cheap in the slightest. He cost us 33 million to sign on a 5-year deal. And I've made sure to put the remaining funds into the coaching system. As you can see, guys, I've been working on this since we began our journey with KV McCallum, and so far it's coming clutch, so I'm hoping it can do the exact same this year too. And to be honest, we kind of need it to, as it's our first time in the Champions League with KV McCallum. We're in Group A alongside Barca, RC Salzburg and FC St. Gallen, and honestly, I do fancy our chances making it out of this group. I mean, granted, it's not been the best of starts for us in the Belgian Pro League, but we're only 4 points off being top of the table anyway. I reckon we're on for back-to-back titles here. But to be fair, guys, I'm not too fussed about how we do in the league. I'm more interested to see how we do in the Champions League, considering it's our first time participating in it. I'm especially intrigued to see how Mika Gotts does in his first season with us, man. I've taken a massive gamble on this guy. I'm just hoping he repays me back by growing and playing well. But to be fair, guys, as long as we don't get grouped or sent to the Europa League, I'll consider this season a massive dub. But unfortunately, guys, we've taken a bit of an L here. We got grouped in Group A. We do go to the Europa League. Poor St. Gallen, man. Their goal difference was -16 in the end. Jesus, talk about being outclassed. But guys, we don't even make it out to the preliminary round in the Europa League. Bloody Frankfurt knocked us out 3-2 on aggregate. We could to be doing better than that. Thankfully, in the Belgian Pro League, we did do much better. We finished second in the regular season. Hopefully, when it comes to the second half of the season, we can top the group. And that's exactly what we did in convincing fashion as well. 5 points clear top of the table. But we're still yet to win the Croquet Cup, as Standard Liège knock us out on pens in the semis. But as for our stats, overall, they're the best they've ever looked. Jack Clark with 29, Azarkan with 29, 15 and 5 for Diaz, 10 and 5 for Mika Gotts, and 8 and 6 for Koulibaly. So far, the formation we've been rocking has been very restricted, but this has been the first year where basically all of our attackers have got a fair share of goals and assists. It's official, guys. We are 100% on the right track with KV McCallum. We've already made them the best team in Belgium by winning the title 2 years in a row now. We just now need to work on taking them that one step further and making them the best team in the world by winning the Champions League. But apparently the board don't share the same vision as me, as they've only given us 45 million euros. But you know what, guys, at this point I'm kind of used to getting shafted by them. And to be fair, guys, I've checked these guys' development plans and every single one of these players is still grown, so realistically it doesn't make sense for me to put any money into the starting 11. Instead, I'm going to focus on the quality we've got on the bench, because some positions like our cam role, like our centre-back role, have quality, but other positions like the goalkeeper and striker just haven't. And to be honest, guys, we've already established ourselves as the best team in Belgium, so adding that extra quality and depth to the team might help our chances in the Champions League too. So I started adding quality to our subs bench by bringing in goalkeeper Lucas Canizares for 10.3 million euros. He's in his mid-20s, he's a half-decent goalkeeper. If anything happens to Bazunu, this guy can maybe step up and do a decent job. I also spent 4.7 million on Nathan Collin, who's only 19 years old and showing great potential, and that can only bode well for us. I'm also going to sign Bajrami from Sassuolo. He's 29 years old, granted, but he's 77 overall. He can do a job on the bench. And finally, I'm going to sign 74 rated Bartosz Bielik, a striker from Wolfsburg who's in his mid-20s. And that officially wraps up our transfer window, as for the combined total of 15.7 million euros, we signed both of these players on permanent deals. Now, I'm very aware that the bench is nowhere near as good as the starting 11, but we've only had 45 million to work with. We've done what we can with what we've been given. But to be honest, guys, I think we've wasted our time. Have you seen the group we've been put into? Juve, Dortmund and Shakhtar Donetsk, man. We'll be lucky to scrape 3rd place in this group. I mean, granted, we've had a positive start to the season, second in the league, 3 points behind Club Brugge. And I know that this team is absolutely incredible, but so are Juve and Dortmund, man. That group is going to be an absolute nightmare to get out of. And apparently it's a nightmare to finish first in the regular season as well, as we once again finish second, 1 point behind Club Brugge. But we've got no issue winning the championship round, being 10 points clear of, ironically enough, Club Brugge. And we've once again made the semis of the Croker Cup, man. I am so sick and tired of not even making it to the final with the team we've got. Well, guys, look at this. We've topped Group B with flying colours, only losing one game out of the 6, 15 points on the table, and we go to the round of 16. And that's where we just about get past Newcastle United. And we beat Real Madrid in the quarters on penalties. We could be playing Atletico, Manchester City, or Juve. Honestly, none of those teams seem appealing to me. Guys, we're in the final. We've beaten Atletico 3-2 in the semis. We're playing Man City in the final. Guys, we could make KV McAllen the best team in the world. But this isn't going to be easy, man. That team is disgusting. They've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, that little traitor. But then you look at our stats, and Jesus Christ, 38 and 4 for Lautaro Diaz, 30 and 11 for Zarkon, 15 and 10 for Jack Clark, and 7 and 14 for Adrian Vargas. We have done so well with KV McAllen, man. I cannot believe in only our second year in the competition, we're in the Champions League final. The only slight concern I've got is Macau being in that starting 11, man. I didn't notice this prior in the transfer window, but he's by a mile the weakest link in the starting 11. But we've made the Champions League final with him. Maybe he can help us complete the challenge set to us by SurpriseShirts and win KV McAllen their first Champions League in God knows how long. The question is, have we done enough this year to build the team to be the best team in the world? No, we haven't. Erling Haaland with a brace and Rodrigo with a goal in the 25th. We just aren't good enough yet, man. That sucks. I mean, to be fair, I didn't even think we were going to make it out of the group, so making it to the UCL final is a massive overachievement for us. But this season's proven to me just how good we've become and just what we're capable of doing as well. I mean, we've just won our third Belgian Pro League title in a row, so at this point, we should be winning it every single year now. But not only in the Champions League did we top the absolute group of death, we not only knocked Real Madrid out in the quarter-final, we knocked Atletico Madrid out in the semi-final, just falling short to Man City in the final. And that says to me, guys, we aren't far away from becoming the best team in the world. We just need to shore up some weaknesses in the team, and we'll be there before we know it. And guys, as we arrive in Season 7 with KV McAllen, I have just signed a player who I believe can take us that one step further in the UCL and not only making it to the final, but winning the entire damn thing. I just spent 57 million euros on PSG's Manuel Locatelli. Now, I know this might be a wacky transfer, but just hear me out. We are now by a mile the best team in Belgium, and we very nearly became the best team in the world last season. And with Locatelli now entering his early 30s, he might fancy a little change in his career. He's also going to bring in a ton of quality and Champions League experience, and that's exactly what we were missing with Mukau last year. I mean, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, guys, but signing Locatelli might just help us complete this challenge. And I guess we're about to find out, as we are in Group D of the UCL alongside Atletico Madrid, RC Lens and Young Boys. And it's once again a very good start. 6 games played, 5 wins, 1 draw, currently joint top of the table with Standard Liège. But as we've already experienced, guys, winning the Belgian Pro League title with the quality we've got in this team has become a normality. I'm just hoping it's our time to win the Champions League as well, guys. We made the final last year, so hopefully with the improvements we've made, we can go one step further. But it's standard procedure in the Pro League, ladies and gents. We've topped the Pro League in the regular season by 8 points. And we've done the exact same thing in the Championship round. 7 points clear top of the table, 4 times in a row. We're the best team in Belgium. And I can't believe it. We almost won the Croker Cup. Bloody Standard Liège, man. Give us the Croker Cup, man. Let us have this one. But it's a decent start in the Champions League, guys. We have finished joint top of Group D and we go to the round of 16. And you've got to be kidding me. That's all we made it to the round of 16. Napoli knocked us out 2-1 on aggregate. And they didn't even win it, for goodness sake. Inter Milan beat them in the Champions League final. I cannot believe this, man. What do we have to do to become the best team in the world? I mean, these stats are absolutely incredible. Jack Clark with 29 and 8, 23 and 7 for Lautaro Diaz, and 20 and 12 for Zarkon. But I've just noticed that Bazunu's got an anterior severe cruciate ligament injury. He's out for another 3 months, but God knows how long he's been actually out for. So we could have been playing the Champions League games with Lucas Canizares in goal, and honestly, no wonder we lost against Napoli if this is the case. But that's not really an excuse, is it, guys? With how good the overall quality of this team is, having a dodgy keeper in goal shouldn't really make a difference. But I'm just hoping our poor UCL performance doesn't affect next season's budget, because we all know how stingy the board are, so I won't put it past them to drop our budget next year. But to my complete surprise, we've actually got more money to work with, 98 million euros to be exact. And now the biggest question lies, guys, where the hell do we actually put this money? Because this team right now is genuinely world class. But I think one part, at least, to that answer is fairly obvious. We need another goalkeeper just in case anything happens to Bazunu once again this season. I mean, it's alright having Lucas Canizares, but let's be real, guys, he's nowhere near on the level of Bazunu, is he? I also think bolstering our quality on the subs bench wouldn't exactly go amiss. I mean, we've got 85 rated Macau in that CDM role, that's fantastic, but the rest are kind of average. But as for bringing in another goalkeeper, I believe I have just made an absolute game-changing signing. Because I've just spent 14.5 million on Aaron Ramsdale, currently out of favour at Arsenal. He's in his early 30s, he's 86 rated, currently better than Bazunu, so this is literally a win-win for everybody. And this still leaves us 51 million euros to bring in more quality for the bench. So I'm going to sign Tosin Adorabioyo just to add a little bit more quality to our defensive depth. I'm going to sign Daichi Kamada to bring a little bit of depth to our attacking midfielder role. And finally, I'm going to sign Junior Adamu, a 29-year-old striker who plays for Freiburg, is 77 overall. And just like that, for the total sum amount of 40.7 million euros, we signed all three of these players on 2-year deals. And now not only do we have a better uninjured goalkeeper in between the sticks, we've actually got the quality we need on the subs bench to replace the quality in the starting 11 when we need to. And that'll come in handy in the UCL, but look at our group, man. Sporting, Feyenoord and Shakhtar Donetsk. I'm not being funny. We've got to go undefeated 6 wins from 6. And we're capable of doing it because that's what we're doing right now in the Belgian Pro League. 6 games played, 6 wins. We are absolutely killing it at the minute. To be fair though, I'm not surprised. We've actually got a very good goalkeeper in Aaron Ramsdale in between the sticks, who, may I add, isn't injured at the minute. I've got a great feeling about this year, man. I feel like we are finally going to make KV Mechelen the world's best club and finally complete the challenge set to us by the SurpriseShirts guys. But guys, it's standard procedure in the Belgian Pro League. We've once again absolutely smashed the regular season. And we've dominated the championship round. We finished top of it by bloody 13 points in the end. But I'm getting sick of this, guys. We've lost the Croker Cup final again, this time to Molenbeek on penalties. What the hell do we have to do to win the Croker Cup? But this is a great start. We are undefeated in Group B. I'd love to have gone 6 wins from 6, but you know what? We still top the group with flying colours. And this time we make it past the round of 16 after smashing Newcastle. And we're in the semis after beating Wolfsburg. We could be playing Leipzig, Inter Milan, Juve. Oh, give me Leipzig. Please give me Leipzig. We didn't play Leipzig in the semis, but we're playing them in the final after we've beaten last year's Champions League winners, Inter Milan, 4-2 on aggregate. I'm not being funny. We've got to win the Champions League this year, man. The run we've had in this year's Champions League is absolutely insane. And I'm really not being funny, but our team is levels, and I mean levels above RP Leipzig's. If this isn't anything short of a battering on our half, this is a joke. I mean, look at these stats, for goodness sake, man. Diaz, Clark, Gotts, Azarkan, Koulibaly, Vargas, all of them banging in at least 19 goal contributions. That's absolutely insane. My only slight concern going into the final is our best centre-back, Ilgaz, is indeed suspended. Honestly, he couldn't have timed that any worse, could he? And the alternative is Adorabioyo, but honestly, I've got a better idea. I think if we put Macau at centre-back, put him in the middle there, that'll actually do a better job, because even with the minus on his overall, it's still 84 overall, 5 ratings higher than Adorabioyo. Well, here we are again, the Champions League final, our second in 3 seasons. The first time we came up against Manchester City and unfortunately got our backsides handed to us. But the team we've got now is levels above what it was back then. It is way more experienced. It is way better. So hopefully, finally, we can say that we are the best team in the world. And we've finally done it. KV Mechelen are officially not only the best team in Belgium by a country mile, but the world's best club. Diaz, Gott, Koulibaly and Clark with the goals. Our attackers were on form in this game and RB Leipzig got annihilated. Guys, we've completed the Surprise Shirts Mystery Box Challenge. 8 years ago, we took over a box standard KV McAllen side and look what we've done with it. But that's our job done with KV McAllen, ladies and gents. And once again, I'd like to send a massive thanks to the guys over at Surprise Shirts for sending me the mystery box in order to make this video possible. Also, don't forget to leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button as well. Help me beat Raman to 100,000 subscribers. And if you're still here and want to watch more content from me, just click right here because this is a banger as well.